Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome back to more Skeleton Crew, one of the dumbest shows I've ever had the misfortune to cover. It's a kid show. No, it's not a kid show. It's a show written for child adults. And saying it's a kid show is insulting to children, treating them like morons. Kids are not idiots. They are, all right, listen, they're kids, but they still understand things. They understand concepts. And back in the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s, when shows were written for children, they were still written with care and written to stimulate the mind, not trash. Skeleton Crew, Disney, Star Wars at large, is trash. Now, we're going to breeze through this because guess what? In the actual 26 minutes of content that there was, 25 minutes even, nothing really happened. The vaunted Bryce Dallas Howard directed this episode, and nothing happened. Yeah, the same Bryce Dallas Howard, one of the biggest Nepo babies of the 21st century, who is still walking around as of 2024 when this was filmed in a mask. Moron. And it shows when you have an episode where all she did, the only directing she did, was have kids have kid no fight, have kids go, oh, let's be friends, and have Jude Law give a really boring speech. That's the extent of her epic Star Wars direction, when she understands Star Wars so well. Nothing Star Wars happened to this. Some X-Wings show up, and I guarantee because that was special effects, she didn't direct that. Okay? Let's stop pretending Bryce Dallas Howard knows anything about directing, let alone Star Wars. Right, so we're going to breeze through this as quickly as possible, and then I'm going to let you go on your merry way because I have better things to do as well. Right, kids fell down a trap last week, which wasn't a trap. It was just a garbage chute that's going to dump them out into the snowy wastelands below the resort. They spent an entire episode telling us about booby traps, and when they seemingly use one to escape, there's no death-defying anything. They just fall down a tube and are dumped out. So right away, the kids are going to yell at one another about, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Our ship, we got to get up there. And then here's where the bad writing comes into play, all right? The kids are now suddenly going to have problems with each other that are springing out of nowhere, that have had no real buildup whatsoever, particularly Girl Boss Fern and KB with two moms. KB with two moms is feeling bad with the little bit of setup they gave last episode. Oh no, I might have corrosion from steam. No, apparently it's much, much worse, where she had some sort of accident that no one has talked about in 6 episodes. You know her cybernetic stuff? It's not just extra cybernetics. Her entire freaking brain is apparently not there. It's an old school cartridge that plugs into the back of her head when the NES thing pops open. That's what her brain is. Yet we're first finding out about that now. So she has a problem with listening to Fern because Fern doesn't want to listen to her. And then Fern just wants to do what she wants to do because she believes that she can get it done. It's retarded, it's boring, and it comes out of nowhere. So eventually, when Fern wants to climb up to the ship, but floppy-haired Wynn wants to wander around the wasteland because some robotic crabs came up saying, people, help, blah, blah, blah. They have a fight about it. And because the brain that is Neil has no opinion whatsoever, he goes with Fern. And because KB's angry at Fern, is afraid that Fern will find out that she's weak because of her accident, she goes with Wynn. So you have 0 character development once again for Wynn and Neil. And you have KB and Fern being told they're great and awesome by the end of it for really doing nothing. Or being amazing for doing the most random ass shit that they shouldn't be able to do if you really thought about it hard enough. Alright, so the kids are going to go in separate directions. Meanwhile, Jude Law, who last week got his hands on a lightsaber and a bunch of treasure, climbs out of a manhole in the middle of the docking platform in front of the spa, and then gets busted by the pirates who were there waiting for him. So Urkel shows up, busts him. Nick Frost's droid is summoned to try and save him, but gets shot. And in 2 seconds, without even doing anything, they take the lightsaber away. So at the end of last week, they spent that whole dramatic moment of him force yoinking the lightsaber and then igniting it as the camera goes dark, and he gets it taken away from him in less than 2 seconds. This show is so lame. They promise you shit and nothing happens. They promise you adventure and nothing happens. So Jude Law is going to get busted, gets taken in literally 2 seconds of light speed travel to a fake wolf pirate guy who's going to judge him, and he judges him guilty of blah, 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 blah. You're going to die. You're going to be death by getting spaced through the airlock. But he gets a chance because of the pirate code. Remember? The pirate code set down by Morgan and Bartholomew. Oh, no, wait, that's Pirates of the Caribbean. The pirate code allows him equal time to talk. I can't make this shit up. It's that dumb. So he turns on a plasma hourglass, and Jude Law gets to rant for about 5 minutes about, I'm hungry. I was always hungry because I've only ever had scraps of anything. Aren't you all hungry? Aren't you all hungry for more than the scraps of the credits around? Because I can help you all find the full meal of Old Republic credits. We're going to go to At and find the mint after they sing a song about the pirate who found the At map and this and that. And once again, this writing completely falls apart where it's written by people who don't understand economics. Printing money doesn't make the money valuable. Okay? So because you go to the Old Republic press on At and print Old Republic credit chips doesn't make them valuable in the New Republic. They should be worthless because they're not based on anything. But these writers don't understand basic economics. They only understand retarded socialism where you just make money, print things, make it happen. If it costs something that I say it is, then it's real. So their whole motivation to go there is retarded. They're going to go there, and if they don't like what they find, then they're still going to space Jude Law. And that's it for Jude Law in the episode. Back to the kids. So the kids have gone their separate way. Fern and Neil run into a problem because Neil is too retardedly designed to climb a ladder. I can't do it, Fern. I'm not built like a monkey like you. Ooh. I think he says spider or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still retarded. So her solution is to suddenly, coincidentally find a rope hanging on a piece of metal and use it to tie herself to him so they can time their climbing. Brilliant writing. Coincidence is not writing. Meanwhile, floppy-haired Win and KB with two moms are wandering through the snow until KB can't go anymore. And this is the moment where we learn she had an accident and had parts of her replaced with cybernetics. Wow, should have been told this a long time ago as part of her character development, but suddenly here it is now, and they have to fashion her a new thing so that she can walk around again and this and that, and they bond. She's afraid because Fern might want to be her friend anymore, and floppy-haired Win goes, you can be friends with me and Neil, and that's because that's the extent of his development. Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that. Hey, I'm just going to be positive. That's his character. He does nothing. And KB and him walk up until they find the little spiders lead them to crabs, excuse me. Little talking crabs lead them to a giant mama crab who wants to eat them. Now, everybody wanted to pretend that this is some giant achievement because this was done with practical effects. Yeah, congratulations. You did something they did 40 years ago. And better. They did it better 40 years ago than what you did here. Congratulations, short bus riding retards. Meanwhile, while they're getting attacked by the crab and starting to run with great writing, I think we're in trouble. I think we're food. I hate this show. I just remembered another line. I was complaining about it earlier. I forgot. When they are taking Jude Law away, they call, because what happens is, Win and the kids are standing there as a bunch of X-Wings fly in to shoot at the pirates. The pirates are escaping. One of the pirates goes, run, you bilge rats! Hey, a bilge, it's for a nautical ship, not a spaceship. It's there to provide balance and a lot of the water to collect someplace where it can't bother the working parts of a ship. There are no bilges in space! You fucking idiots! So you can't have a pirate in space call another pirate a bilge rat. It doesn't make sense. Fine. Okay, back to the present of the show. Fern and Neil see their retarded ship being taken away by salvage bots. So what do? As it's flying, as the bots coincidentally fly close enough to them, they jump on one of them, and Fern just happens to find a joystick which allows her to hijack it and fly it. So they're flying it, and of course they fly close enough to where floppy-haired Win and KB with two moms are, and they're able to jump on. Coincidence is not writing. And then they crash, and the stupid ship they all want to get back starts to get eaten by a garbage disposal unit. Because what happened was the giant crab threw a rock at one of the droid salvage ships, and it crashed. And I want to remark here, this show made a big deal last week about how there's so much security on this planet. So much security that they let a giant crab monster live in the salvage yard, literally right below the spa, and that crab is capable of throwing large objects to damage ships. So the kids are going to rush. We're not going to lose our ship. And they rush in the ship. We go through this whole lame sequence of them trying to break free of the garbage-devouring machine, where they're all working together because they had a big hug, and they're okay now because KB and Fern get along because Fern understands that KB is really not, I don't know, I'm losing it. It's retarded, it's childish. They get on the ship, they do a bunch of stupid crap, and then they hit the self-destruct button, which isn't a self-destruct button, but just removes the outer hull to reveal a smaller, sleeker version of the ship inside, which allows them to fly away in it. And that's the end of the episode. Because KB has the coordinates to Atten in her NES brain. That's the show. That's the show. Bryce Dallas Howard, she's such a good director. No, she isn't. The idiot who wrote this show is a moron using words like bilge-rat in space. There's no intelligence. They have no ability to think beyond an episode. Where's all the security? Suddenly, let's have a fight between KB and Fern when they didn't build this up at all for 5 episodes. But suddenly, there's a problem between them, and KB's angry that Fern doesn't listen to her and that Fern lives in a fantasy world. And Fern's gonna still do stuff. And mind you, I've given it 6 episodes, but here we are. The boys accomplish nothing. The girls are the one who do everything. KB's the one who fixes shit and gets information. Fern is the one that actually takes action and gets shit done. And when they do it, the boys praise them as amazing and cool. They did it again this episode. You're amazing. You're great. They're idiots. And you're an idiot if you watch and like this show. I watch it because I have to. I don't want to, but I have to review this shit because I promised I would. And I'm locked in for another 2 weeks. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Save my sanity. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade. And follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.